Hello and welcome back to Nomifactory. We start off the episode by changing out these elite parallel control hatches with the master ones that we made last episode. Or like started crafting up, they finished overnight. The masters, you need quite a bit of items for. I think you need 4 CPM circuits and some LUV components, though they are very expensive, but we had the materials because we have a lot of passive processes that craft up during the night and during the gameplay that I do. This should make the ore processing setup a lot quicker because they parallel 4 times as much ores as they normally do. I will also switch out, I think, this large centrifuge unit. This has 2 normal IV hatches. I think I'll switch those out with 2 4 amp IV hatches. And it should make it twice as fast, I think. And for that we need another of these converters as well. We will just put those straight on these. Let's see here. 4 amp and 2 4 amp converters. Like so. This should make the thermal centrifuge a little bit faster. So to test this, we want to send some microminers. I'll just send between episode 16 tier 1s, and now we can craft up 16 tier 2s, and that should be alright. And it's using one of our large CPUs here with a lot of co-processors, so it crafts up a lot of items at once. But in the meantime, we can prepare something else that we need for this episode. I need to make a lot of processes in the clean room to make these crystal chips. These crystal circuits. For that we need this raw crystal chip, which is made with Enderium and exquisite emeralds. And this needs to be made in a clean room. And once you have a few of these raw crystal chips, you can dupe them with more Enderium. And you have a larger chance of getting more. And then when you have a few of those, you can together with some helium and an emerald plate make an engraved crystal chips. And in a clean room again, in an LUV precision laser, you can make these crystal as CPUs. And these can be used in the crystal chips that we will need from now on. They are the only way you can get the first UV circuit. And that you need to make in the assembly line. But yeah, concrete first. And we want a infinite water cover, which we will craft up. We want a interface, which we can provide us the items we need for concrete. Let's see here. An item interface. Here we need clay dust, which we should have a lot of. And stone dust, which is probably one of the items we have the most of from ore processing. Then we need to extract it. Item filter. Item conduit. Let's see here. We need to filter some stone dust, let's say 16, and clay dust. here, 16. Insert on brown, extract on brown. I know you can't see the item count yet, but it still works. It just doesn't load the texture. And the infinite water cover we put on here, and it makes concrete very quickly. It's already full, I think. That we extract directly into an assembling machine. Let's see here, we need another interface. Like so. And we need a cable. Craft some more of those. We'll just take one of these covered cables. Make sure it's connected to the ME system. Then we need to make a recipe. Say plascrete. And this needs concrete in it, but because it's always filled with concrete, this is fine. Then we need to extract and right click it with a screwdriver so that it can input from output side. Now we should be able to order some plascrete. Oh, we already have quite a bit, but let's order a lot. Why not? We need it at some point anyways for a still clean room. And that we need for making all the stem cell stuff. Wetware circuits. And we can just expand the floor here before we do anything with the clean room. Because we are using the clean room to craft up circuits, and we might need some circuit production before we have enough to expand the clean room fully. I'm just trying to figure out how many filter casings we need here. We need 40 for this layer. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we need 48 for the next layer, I'm pretty sure. Because it's 13 by 13 by 13. So we need about like 84 filter casings, and that should be enough. Let's see if we have the materials for it. 88. It looks like it. We'll just craft that up then. While everything is crafting up on the clean room, we can go back to the microminer missions. We have 16 of the tier 2. Those require 2 quantum flux each. I think we have enough quantum flux in here. Yeah, we do. Let's send them away. And let's see if it gets put into this ore processing setup. Yeah, the first macerator here is running. Yeah, it's running here as well. And this is running. It's very quick. But it probably won't be able to keep up with 16 microminers. It will have a little backlog in here. But as you can see, it's running very quickly. And we are getting dust very fast as well. I think we can quite easily call this ore processing setup a success. It seems like it's working fine. This pyroclaw ore should not go in there. Let's see here, if we add and not crushed and not crushed like so, this crushed ore shouldn't go in there. It's because it's filling up right here. No, it's not even filling up there. Why is it going in there? It should go in here. Let's see. Why are we doing this? I think we're doing this because we want to macerate it twice to get apatite and then get apatite dust. No, we do want it to go into the thermal centrifuge, so I don't know why it isn't doing that. Crushed and not tungstate. We need this to not go in here at least. But I think, yeah, I think it's going other way now. Let's see. If we take this, this is getting overloaded really fast. The pyroclaw should go in here. Yeah, it is. So it's just a mistake in the system here. Yeah, it goes in here now. You need to be very careful with the ore dictionary buzzers when you do this, because if you make one mistake in this in these lines here, it just gets messed up. So you need to exclude stuff from some of the ore dictionary storage buses and then include the things you need. Otherwise it will mess up, yeah. I don't think the 4 amp energy hatch did anything. It can run 65,000 EU per tick, but it's only using 30,000. I think if we want an overclock, we need to run it at CPM. And yeah, this is definitely clocking up a bit. It's still not fast enough, this thermal centrifuge. I might look at getting a 2 LUV 4 amp hatches. Oh no, 1 LUV 4 amp or 2 of these LUV hatches, because this thermal centrifuge needs to be quicker than the macerators, because it's by far the bottleneck. Like, it's way too slow. So we might look at getting LUV energy hatches. Or we could just wait for the setup to run through. It will do it over time. The filter's crafted up, so we will now see if my math is correct. We'll just use... I can never remember what this mod is called. It's a building mod. Let's see here. Building. It's called effortless building. It's very useful for crafting large structures like this. I have 18 left. That should be enough. It is. So my math is correct. Now all we need to do is dismantle the old cleanroom setup and then use the glass for the last 3 columns here, or walls. And then we should have the max size cleanroom. And let's make sure we have nothing crafting. We don't. And I'll just pause the passive processes down here with my soft hammer. Let's pause all the machines. Like so. Now we can take down the old cleanroom. And the cleanroom glass we will reuse. It says that the let's see here. It says that the structure is incomplete, even though I just finished it, so something is wrong. Let's see here. I'll try and use my copy-paste gadgets to figure out what blocks I have in here. If there is a laboratory block in this, there isn't. I couldn't figure out why this did not work, but I think you need, I don't think you can use the travel anchor in here. I think that's what's causing the problem. Not like that. I'll just disconnect, reconnect. And now it formed. And I also fixed the structure here. It was off center and now it's centered. So that's good. And this will probably take a while before it's cleaned, because the structure is so big. So we will not make any circuits yet until this is clean. We could probably build a second floor in here. And start planning the crystal chips. And I'm not using Efflet building because it's glitchy right now. I changed out the high voltage energy heads that ran this clean room with a IV one, and this says it's running LUV now. So this should have been much faster, but it doesn't look like it is. this clean room might only have one speed. Okay, yeah, it only uses 30 EU per tick, so it isn't faster with IV than it is with LUV. So we'll just have to wait quite a bit before we can use the clean room. Very soon we will need to have a LUV circuit assembler, so we will craft that up. Yeah, we can craft it up. It just takes some time. A second after I started the craft of the circuit assembler, the LUV circuit assembler, I cancelled it because if you run a recipe in a circuit assembler in a dirty clean room, there is quite a big chance to fail the craft and lose all the components. And when you are crafting up a CPM circuit, that is very expensive to lose. Let's see what we are using. Like, this is all used for CPM craft, so we don't want to do that. I crafted up this LUV diode. It doesn't look like it will take the color of the multi-block, but the clean room says it is structure complete, so this should be fine, I think. I don't know why it's not changing texture like the other diodes I have, but yeah, this should be alright. I have some signalum wire here, which I will yeah, that's the LUV superconductor. I'll just pull that up here. We will also take ME up to the second floor, like so. Now that the clean room here is clean, we can turn on the machines again. Yeah. Let's see, we will then order the circuit assembler, the LUV one. And we also need an LUV energy converter. I will also order a precision laser at LUV. We need more niobium titanium. I think we will make an alloy blast furnace recipe. Let's see here. This equals 2 niobium titanium. And this needs a circuit of 2. Pretty sure we already have a hatch with a circuit of 2. This here. Yeah. Let's see. Then we should be able to alter the precision laser. We need titanium dust. We have a lot of titanium, but no titanium dust. Let's just make a macerator recipe. We're still using our HV macerator in our old base. Yeah, now we can craft it up. This one here, we're still using this. We should change that out. This diode here, you can change the amount of amperage that goes through it by right-clicking it with a soft hammer. We want 4 amp. Let's see here. This now has power and should provide this line here with power. Yeah, still don't know why the texture isn't changing, but it seems like the clean room is accepting it. At least it says the structure is fine. And while all this is crafting up, I'll go play some Rocket League. I think for this process here, we want a ivy line so that we can autoclave some exquisite emeralds with Enderium. Let's see here, and we also need to autoclave some raw crystal chip parts with Enderium. But for that we need some initial ones. I put down an IV diode here, and I will hook it up to power with this energy converter. Let's see. Yeah, this has power. And we will do this on the second floor as well. The ME conduit we will run along the ceiling here, and we will have an interface which has Enderium in it, liquid Enderium. This Enderium we will probably just extract here on an EV line. We'll make sure to fluid emit this so that we don't melt through our entire supply of Enderium, and partition a fluid storage bus for this Enderium here. Set priority 1000. Hook this up to applied energistics. We filter this basic item filter for Enderium. Insert on brown and extract the Enderium here. Bop. Let's make this a limited item filter, otherwise it will just buffer 64 in here, and that's way too much. Like so. And we can probably not do much about this elite autoclave. It will probably buffer like 12,000 millibuckets of Enderium in it. And that's like 100 ingots almost. We will extract on blue and insert on blue. This fills up. Let's try and throw in a stack of exquisite emeralds. They apparently only stack in 16s. And this is the world's slowest craft. It's 150 seconds at IV, 600 seconds at HV, and the chances are garbage. So we'll just let this run a little and hope for some of them. So I'm back after a couple of days, and the server has kept running. And this elite autoclave went through the 2 stacks of 16 of exquisite emeralds, and we have 18 raw crystal chips. These we should do something with. I think we should dupe some of them, and some of them we should engrave in a blast furnace. This needs helium, and a emerald plate, and some raw crystal chips. Yeah, we need a blast furnace for this, and these you precision laser into the crystal CPUs, and you can use those for crystal circuits. And those are IV tiers, probably the best IV tier you can make. And for this we need elite circuit boards, which should not be a problem, I don't think. Just a bit expensive on the iron 3 chloride. But we need to save some of these for forge hammering. Let's see, you get 9 of these, and these get better chances at raw crystal chips. So we need to make a system for making some of them into more crystal chips, and some of them we smelt in a blast furnace. So in the clean room here, I'm setting up a system for autoclaving stuff, or like the crystals. And here we want the raw crystal chip parts going into, let's see here, some conjugate. Yeah, these we want all of them to go into this elite autoclave with Enderium. We can use something else for this than Enderium at some point, but right now Enderium is the best we have. We will item filter this for raw crystal parts, insert on brown, and extract here from brown. This down here we want to be crystal chips, and we will extract here auto output, and we need a storage bus on this. Cable, ME conjugate. Let's just partition this to be sure. Yeah. And this is a high priority. To make everything a little bit easier to figure out, I made a IV forge hammer here, which we cannot turn for some reason. I want it to face this way. This is powering up. We need to make a system here so that it doesn't use all of our crystal chips. So we want a ME level emitter. Here. We will ME it up. Like so. Let's say this needs to have 5 or more, otherwise this won't craft up. So let's see, if I remove these, this turns on its light. And if we have, let's say, 6 in it, yeah, it starts working. So let's see here. This gives us raw crystal chip parts, which we will output into a drawer and log it. Oh my god, I hate when that happens. I have like 10 drawers configured to a flux ball. You just do this. Crystal chips and output automatically. Let's make a separate interface for this. Because we want to level emit the extractor as well. So that we don't extract anything unless... Or we could just limit... Nah, how do we do this best? Limit item filter, I think. Those are my best friends. If we limit item filter one of these and buffer one of these here, only one, we should always have 3 in our system, because one will go in here, one will stay up here, and this will not run unless there is enough in the system. So this says it can run. So if we extract on brown, and insert on brown. This is crafting up the chips. Let's say 10 here. And it stopped. And when it stopped, we still have 9 in the system. So let's set this to, let's say 15. No, let's say 63. These raw crystal chips will go in here. And these will craft up, and they are very slow. I think we will limit item filter this as well, so that we don't have more than 1 raw crystal chip in at a time. And this is only 1. And we will, let's see here, flint. Downgrade. We'll downgrade this drawer so that we only can have a stack of these, because we don't need more than that. And this obviously needs a storage bus. Set to a priority of 1000. This puts the raw crystal chip parts in there. This should craft up the raw crystal chips. And when we have over 21 of those, we should craft up more of these crystal parts. But not more than 64. So this should work now automatically and should provide us with more of these raw crystal chips. These we should just, this is a slow process, so we should just let that run wild. And let's get as many of those as we can possibly get. Some of you mentioned last episode that I filtered this wrong. This was filtered to dust. So now we have like 500 ASSG ingots. But we will use them obviously, but yeah, it's a bit many to stock. And the last couple of days the Draconium has just been running, so we have 1000. But I think I want more because slow process. Let's see here. The oil product seems to be keeping up. Let's see how much naphtha we have here. Yeah, we have 1000 buckets. And we have quite a bit of refinery gas as well. And I don't think I want this to... I don't want this to void anymore. Over here I want to set up another blast furnace. We have a lot of narcotic coils left. Let's see here. This is for crystal chips. Let's see, in bar. We need a maintenance hatch. Let's do automatic. Muffler. This don't think has an energy hatch. No, it does not. Let's see here. I think I have a 4 amp energy hatch, but I don't. Let's craft one up. We have an energy converter at least. Our energy hatch crafted up. And it's IV. And this is IV. I always am very careful with this because I exploded one of the hatches in creative mode on a test world. And it's a large explosion. It's no fun. This we give power. And we have an input bus. We need an input hatch as well. Let's see here. This requires gasoline and this requires helium. So we will just use the same interface. We need some fluid conduits. Those are energy. That will not transfer any fluids. These will transfer fluids. Helium. And filter it in here. Insert on blue, extract on blue. This is getting helium. Then we just need to tell it to... Let's see, we'll use the same line here, I think. We'll limit item filter this with one of these raw crystal chips. And one emerald plate. These we will need to make as well, but let's just start with this. Emerald plate, we have one, nice. Raw crystal chip. It might need a circuit, you know. Helium. Is it working? It's not working. Or it needs an output, obviously. The output. I think this is working now. Yep. But let's pause it, because we don't want it to run through all of our crystal chips, remember? We will limit this in another way than the others. We will say when levels are below, and when these are below, let's say 10 or 11, this will not run, and it will need a machine controller. And a storage monitor. And we should have some in our system. It might just be down here. Yeah, we have some here. These we will need to extract on purple. So this, when below 11, it won't run. Okay, so this will not run unless the crystal chips here are above 11, and they are not at the moment. Let's see here. We have 6. This will not run. This needs a different logic, I think. I think we'll say if these crystal chip parts are below, let's say 30, let's say 20, it will craft these. And this needs to be on the default emit when levels are above or equal. Yeah, so this stopped working now, but it did. I did accidentally use 2 of these raw crystal chips. And I think the logic over here is solid. You want this on emit when levels are below, so that it only runs when we have above 11 here. And look, if we change that to 3, it should run a recipe. We have 4 crystal chips here. This is set to... I think it's because I've manually disabled this. So we say when levels are below limit 3, this will run. 2. Okay, so I'm a bit silly. The reason this isn't running is because we don't have any more emerald plates. So this, I'm pretty sure, needs to be emit when levels are below limit. And let's set it to 10. And I set it this high just to be sure. And this is a very slow recipe. So this will just have to run in the background. We should probably make this faster, but I don't know how many crystal chips we will use. So here we have the LUV circuit machine. Let's see. Here we crafted that up earlier. We just haven't had it in our inventory yet. We need to make these elite circuit boards, but those should be easy to make. Let's see here. The next part of this is making the crystal CPUs. And for that we need a laser engraver, which I also crafted up. And this is a LUV. Let's just make sure. This is an LUV line. And this is a LUV machine. I just like to be very sure. Nothing exploded. We need a lime lens. Only lime works, so I'll figure out how to make lime. Okay, so I went back to the overworld and got some cactus. And together with some bone meal, we should be able to make lime dye. We are. Then with some salt. And let's say a bucket of sulfuric acid. We should be able to make this lime lens. So let's see. There we go, there we go. There we go. Let's get a drum for that. Oh, we accidentally made 2. Then in a chemical bath. Don't know if we have glass lenses left. We don't, but we can just take these panes and put in a lathe. Oh, it's a 30-second craft. But with the glass lens and some chemical lime dye, we should be able to make the lime lens here. Let's try and put the lime lens into the precision engraver together with some engraved crystal chips. And this should give us the first crystal CPU. Nice. So we output into a locked drawer, and we want some more ME connections here. Let's see, we want an interface down here. This we want to just export here. And we want the engraved crystal chips, and we just want all of these to go into here. There's no use for these other than this. Okay, so we have our first crystal CPUs, and this will just run forever. Until we get enough for it to process them over here. Let's set this to 5. And we want a way to make the emerald plates. And let's see, we can just craft them up like this. And we'll do that for 135 of them. But we do want an automatic way to do this. But to start with, we can just make a lot. And if anything goes wrong with our system, we still have quite a few exquisite emeralds which we can use to restart the process. But this episode is running a bit long, and I feel like we did quite a bit of process. We made the LUV circuit assembler, and we haven't used it yet, but we do have it on hand. And we almost finished automating crystal CPUs. We made our first ones, and all we need to automate it is just the making of emerald plates. But I crafted up quite a few manually, and then this blast furnace should run when we have above 5 raw crystal chips, and we only have 4 here. This is so that we are always able to make more raw crystal chip parts, so that we will be able to dupe the crystal chips. But yeah, I think that's what I had for you this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.